I actually like the Chainsaw Man ending. I'm sorry, I actually did. I know some people are booing. No, wait. There will be spoilers for the whole of Chainsaw Man, so if you're not up to date with the Chainsaw Man manga or you're just an anime only, click off right now. People are going crazy online because they basically think that the Chainsaw Man ending is just not good, it's trash. Why are all anime endings or manga endings so bad? And the main reason why I think people are mad is because the show ended in a it was all just a dream kind of scenario. And usually I would be on the side of people being like, how can you tell me that it was all just a dream? It was a waste of time. But in this scenario, I felt like everything that led to the ending made sense. Granted, 231, I won't lie, is one of the most craziest abrupt chapters I've ever seen in my life. Because you go on 230 and you'll see this crazy, like, a lot of devils coming to fight Denji. You're like, all right, cool, some crazy shit's about to happen. And then next thing you know, sorry, that's the end of Chainsaw Man, mate. Denji, it's over. And you're like, huh? What? If you've read a Fujimoto story, you know he's capable of doing wild stuff, man. Like, to seeing that, I wasn't like bad. I was like, this is just Tatsuki Fujimoto. It's just how he is. But people are complaining and saying that, oh, nothing really happened and Denji didn't develop. Denji kind of developed. It's one of those stories whereby you go in the future, you come back to the past, and you take those lessons from the future and you add it to the past. Granted, in this scenario, Denji doesn't know Pochita, doesn't remember all his journeys, etc. But I felt like the point was the fact that Denji stopped Asa from falling when Asa's whole trauma from the whole story was literally from chapter 1 of part 2 was the chicken falling. I think that makes sense. And even the fact that Denji was less horny about it and he actually was very caring, and even the fact his whole demeanor has changed, I think it made sense. Now people are asking, did Pochita basically ruin Denji's life? And I don't think that was the point of the story, even though that could have been the case. It's like saying, oh, if I took this opportunity at this point when somebody offered this job, would my life be better? We don't know. And I think that's the point of this ending. We don't know. I watched an Instagram video from this creator called Tomo Manga Lounge, and I think the way he explains why Fat Fujimoto did the ending made sense. Fujimoto is inspired by Spirited Away, and the way Spirited Away ends is Chihiro comes out of the whole new world. It's not like I don't think she remembers most of what happened, but she comes out but she's at least subtly developed. Like, I forgot what exactly she did when she was out of the tunnel, but there was something different about her compared to when she got in the tunnel. And to be honest, a lot of Ghibli movies kind of follow that formula. I think that's the point. We don't need to see Denji be a whole new man in order for him to have developed. We need to see a change of something he wouldn't have done in the beginning of the story, which we saw. So why are people so mad about this ending? That's my question. Maybe they wanted to see what Nusma, whatever the world ending threat is. People are like, oh, but what about the world ending threat? Yeah, death is dead. Like, the world is finished. Like, I don't understand. They may have stopped the Nusma, whatever the thing is called, but people can't die, so the world was screwed anyway. So the way people are like, oh, Tatsuki wrote himself in the corner. Maybe he wrote his way there because he knew, hey, this choice that Denji's about to make, either way, you're screwed. And people are making different things like, oh, why is Nayuta here and not Makima? Why is Power here and not Aki? And I can go to a whole conversation about different nuances as to why and why not. Maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. You could argue and say Aki was in the house when the Gun Devil came and killed him. You could argue and say that Makima has already been erased from existence, so that's why Nayuta is there as the control devil. There's so many ins and outs I think that we need to discuss in regards to the Chainsaw Man ending, but I don't think this is a bad ending in my opinion. Granted, Chainsaw Man Part 2 probably should have been better. I mean, in my opinion, Chainsaw Man Part 1 is actually between a 9.5 and a 10 out of 10 as a manga. That shiznit is a masterpiece. But then you go to Chainsaw Man Part 2, which continued the masterpiece all the way, I would say, towards the Falling Devil, and then that's where it started getting not as good, in my opinion. It completely changed what the show was. It started becoming more of a world threat than this emotional drama of Denji and Asa, but hey, I'm not complaining because these are literal world-ending devils. But anyway, I like the series. If I was to give a score of Chainsaw Man Part 2, I would give it a 9. I know some people will be like, oh, it's not that good. I still think it was pretty sweet in my opinion. It's just that compared to the 10 of part 1, it's just not as good as that in my opinion. One day I'm gonna have a discussion where I talk fully about Chainsaw Man, and I'll give you a review of the whole Chainsaw Man from part 1 to part 2, because I literally did a reread of majority of part 1 and the whole of part 2. But what are your thoughts on the Chainsaw Man ending? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Do you have your complaints? And do you want me to have a whole discussion about it? Let me know, and I'm open to discussion. Thank you very much for watching again. Please like and subscribe. I hope you have a great day, and stay safe. All right, peace.